I am going to show you how you can deploy the machine learning model or the step-by-step approach. So if you are creating like regression model, classification model, natural language processing model, or large language model, anything, you need these steps to perform in the process of development of the machine learning model. So today I'm going to explain like all the process step by step approach and what is the included in each and every steps. So let me zoom out. So first step up in our machine learning model is like data gathering. So in data gathering, what we do, we collect the data from different sources, from the SQL, documents, web pages, Excels, and many other sources. There are also like lots of pandas function available to get the data from different sources. So we are collecting all the data on one place. So in that way, we can perform the many operation on that data. So data gathering is a first step to gather all the data from the different sources. So so you can generate or create or fine tune the model based on that data. So that's the different format of data we can collect, and then the data gathering process will take place. Next, we have the second step in our machine learning model is like data cleaning. So in the data cleaning, we gather all the data, right? But the data sometimes the data may be the contain null values, data may be the incorrect, or few records or few things is not available in the data. Data have some blank values, some different formatted values, and many other things, many other challenges we can face during the data cleanup process. So in the data cleanup, we'll make sure that everything is clean up, everything is formatted. We also like refactor, fine tune our characters data, we using the mathematical function which is called the uh, encoder. So encoder is very useful for the making sure encoding the character variable, character data in the mathematical way. So that process is also performed in the data cleaning or the data splitting. So data splitting is something like the we will split the data in two different ways, like the test set and the train set. So test set is required for testing our model, and train set is required like the training our model, right? So in the train and test, we can consider the ratio of 80-20 or sometimes 70-30. Based on that data value, we can consider that, and that's the step which is included in the data cleaning and data splitting. Also in data cleaning, the one thing also required is like the all the data is like a feasibly means all the data value which is present from the 0 to 1 or which will be vary from 0 to 1. So for varying, because sometimes there is the cases or sometimes there is the challenge is like the we are like getting the data like the let's take a one example. We have like the data of the like TV price of TV, right? And we also have the other data which like price of radio. So price of television is always higher than the price of radio. So if that data directly go to our model, then this model will be biased. So for removing that bias, we need to make sure that all the data will be considered from the 0 to 1 or in the range of 0 to 1. So there are many steps which are performed or which are included in the machine learning. I will explain these steps or make the video in the future on these things. But this data, it should be from the 0 to 1. So that's the steps which is also performed in the data cleaning place. Also we have the model selection. Then the next step will be like model selection. In the model selection, we need to take the sample of all the complete training data. We can say it's a population, but sample is something like the fragment of the data. Means we are taking like we have 100 rows and we are taking only 10 rows. We are just picking the 10 samples and everything like from the randomly take the 10 samples, and based on the 10 samples we will perform different models, or we will apply different model and see how the prediction works. So because before training the model, we need to test the different model, which model can give me the exact accuracy or the accuracy which is near to actual one. So for that, the model selection process is very required, very important for the in the machine learning pipeline. Next, we have like the train the model. Once that we finalize the model, okay, based on the, we test like 100 of sample on 100 of machine learning algorithm, because in this day, now these days, like lots of algorithms which are present in our present in our use cases. So for the, once we select that, okay, this algorithm which exactly fit my data, and this algorithm give me the highest prediction, highest accuracy, so that's why I am choosing this model. And then we can train all the population data to that model. So that model will train based on the all the population data, or all the data, not a sample data. So when that the training phase is done, for the training phase we need require this GPUs and all. So everything is included in that. So training phase is contain take the lots of time for the train the exact model. Once that training phase is completed, then we can say model testing. So as you remember that we split the data into training phase and the testing phase. So training phase we utilize this data for the training the model, and now we can test the data based on the sample of that actual database or actual population. So testing is required because we need to test that, okay, the model is working fine or not. Because sometimes there is the cases that when the we didn't remember that, okay, this we done the training and we done the everything, but validation is validation is we forgot about the validation part. So in the training phase or in the testing phase, we can check that, okay, validation is applied correctly or not. My model is predicting the output which is actual one, or the like the only randomly picking the output one, because this is the black box, right? If you consider that, no, let me draw something for you. So if I go here, you can see here training the model is the black box. We can't like see, okay, this is happening, this API call goes where and there and something like that. We can't see anything, right? It's everything is the black box, under the black box. So for the testing is very important once the model is trained, because in the testing phase we know the output as well and we know the input as well, and we can see that, okay, we can check that randomly, okay, this if you take this input, and is my model predicting that correct output or not, and we can compare that output. So everything which are present in the model testing. So that is the testing part is very important. Some of the time people are like ignoring the testing the model and directly deploying these things to the production. So at that time there is sometimes like after the model will start like producing the error, then people will know, okay, this model is not tested, so that's why these things have happened, okay. But at that time there is like a lot of resources are consumed and lot of resources are like utilized, so the billing is high and everything is high. So at that time it's like we know everything about that, not a frequently or not a exact at the time of happening, but we know these things after some time. So that's the waste of time during that part. So that's why the model testing is very important. Again we can say after the testing the model, and we can say, okay, my model is tested successfully and my model is working fine and everything is done, then we can deploy that model on the AWS cloud or any cloud, or Azure or GCP, anywhere. So we can deploy these things. Once that deployment is done with the help of DevOps people, and they will deploy the things and like fine tune some parameters and things like that. So once that is done, model deployment, then the prediction will happen. So in the prediction step, our model is used for the people. So people will start like asking questions, start giving the other data, and based on that data, my model will start predicting something. So that's the use case of these things. So once that prediction is started, so during that prediction time, my model will generate some database, because my model should not be the only know the past things. It should be know my present things as well. What is the happen currently right now? So in the prediction step, we will create some database, and then database will again go to the data gathering step. So new database is created. I launched my model in 2023, right? In the Jan 2023, and after that my prediction will start like creating some database in the Jan 2024 up to 2000. So my model will, if I didn't pass this newly created database to my model, then my model will be old. My model will be only predict the value before Jan 2023. But right now I am like creating the database and pass it to the data gathering phase. So that's why my model will always trying to always will be the with trends and with technology will always will be the updated with trends. So that's the database part is very important in the prediction step. Also, one thing is very important is like the which is last step in our modeling, model monitoring. Because sometimes what happen, people will like people will like input the data and giving the output or something like that, and they will not monitor the model. So what happen in that case, like the sometimes people will throw the garbage as well. You know the people, right? So people will throw garbage, and my model will start learning from that data, from the garbage data. And once that my model will start learning from the garbage data, then this will be the like the garbage in garbage out feature. So in that way, or solve this problem, we always need to monitor the model. So at the time of monitoring, we can monitor and check that if someone or if the garbage data is start as an input in my model, then we can stop that data in the prediction step or in the early phases, not to train that garbage data, and then my model will start predicting the garbage output, and then we will know, okay, these things happen because of these things because of this input, and now I'm going to fix this. But my model is already like learned from that garbage, right? So my model will produce the garbage. So there is the concept in machine learning which is called garbage in garbage out. If you are giving the garbage data, then you will give the model will give the garbage output. So for overcome this problem, always we need to monitor the model. Once that model monitor is done, then we can say, okay, we can stop the picture, and we can like do the risk management, and we can stop the model for the producing garbage or collecting the garbage. So this is the complete setup. You can see here like all the steps I mentioned here. These are all the steps. If we are working with the regression model, anything, you need all these steps and all these step-by-step approach. So in that way, you can like deploy or create your machine learning model in the good way, or in the way that you can reliable on. So thank you so much.